today I was able to testify about some of the projects and some of the parts of the proposal that specifically would have a huge impact on our students. So the school mental health initiative is actually the part that I focused on was the trauma-informed care. And I think if you talk to public educators and teachers, regardless of where we are in the state, you would see that the number of students that have gone through trauma or are currently in ongoing trauma is incredibly prevalent. The adverse childhood experiences that kids are going through have long-term, not only health implications, but of course academic ramifications. In some classrooms, 13 out of every 30 students, so over a third of the students, have stress related from 3 or more traumatic experiences, and many of these are ongoing. Over the past 2 years, we at my school, Doty Elementary, have been able to directly connect students that are in a behavior crisis to the actual adverse childhood trauma to a rate of about 90%. As a staff, childhood trauma has a significant impact on what kind of interventions you can and should be using to have the best possible outcomes. We can, things that such as teaching of coping skills, self-regulation, identifying triggers, and addressing immediate safety concerns take quite a bit of staffing, and that staffing, of course, takes resources. Through training, we can also continue to focus on proactive behavior management programs and high leverage interventions. However, all of this takes resources and staff to implement consistently and successfully. In addition, I was here to support the per pupil increase in aid for the governor's proposed budget, so that way we can meet the other varied needs of our students. Green Bay has gone through an incredible demographic shift in 15 years, and because of that shift, we've seen the needs of students just become incredibly different. And Julie Seifelt, one of my coworkers, she talked about in particular the need to support students who are learning English as a second language. In my school is a prime example of this. Doty Elementary was at one point in time pretty much a middle class, homogeneous neighborhood school. Now, over 78% of my students are right now qualify for free and reduced lunch. Not only that, but 58% of my students speak Spanish as a first language. With the shift, the school has had to add quite a bit of different programming, such as bilingual programs, English as a second language, translators, paraprofessionals, and we also have to increase staff training on how to work with children who are coming to us from these diverse backgrounds, but also students who live in poverty. Furthermore, education has shifted dramatically from the old sit and get model to individualized instruction and individualized learning. Because of this, best practices suggest a threshold of about 20 students per teacher when we're looking at working with not only younger kids, which I'm elementary school, so that's for us, but also at-risk kids, which is also when you're looking at some of these higher levels of poverty and the higher levels of traumatic care. Because of that, with the constraints the way they have been, we just cannot reach that threshold. This, like all things, takes resources, it takes staff to implement consistently and with success.